or politics. I'm your host, Darlene Price, and tonight we have the McCreary County Constables debate. This is the Constables debate, right? Constables. There's so many of these I'm getting mixed up. Constables debate. So first, before we get started, we want to thank MBR TV for carrying this show for us and doing these debates, and Steve Hall, our hero behind the scenes at MBR TV. We also want to thank our timekeeper tonight, Attorney Brandon Baer, for being our timekeeper tonight. He's also our assistant county attorney. And also Michael Mann, of course, working all the technical stuff that I have no clue how to work. And we want to thank you viewers out there tonight. How about a big round of applause for our studio audience showing up tonight? And we want to thank our viewers on Facebook watching us tonight. So we'll get started. First, I want to go with the rules. I forgot to bring the rules, so I'm hoping I do it from memory. Each question will be timed. Everybody for each question will have the same amount of time. Everybody will have a chance to go first. When you're answering your questions, please, other people don't interrupt the candidate answering the questions, okay? People want to hear what their answer is. If you got a problem with his answer or vice versa, just wait till your turn and you can include with your answer to the question a rebuttal or whatever. Your time is your time. So each question will have, so many minutes, and we'll tell you ahead of time, and our timekeeper will have those minutes. And for the audience out there, thank you very much for showing up. And please, everybody silence your phones or turn them off because we don't want to be interrupted. The sheriff's debate was a comedy of errors. We had every kind of interruption there was. It was comedy. But anyways, and we want to, the people on Facebook, please keep your comments professional. I put up a warning if you are in any way defamation, any kind of defaming, comments and everything that are just inappropriate. You will be booted off permanently. So please, if you have a professional comment or a like or dislike or want to cheer your candidate on, that's fine. But let's be cool. Let's be professional, okay? And we will get started here. Okay, who's going to say going first? You are. And everybody gets a chance to go first, okay? So first, you're going to have a 1 minute opening remark. Everybody has 1 minute opening, and the time will start when you start talking, and then he'll stop you. So 1 minute, and we'll have a closing too, so you'll have time to, whatever. So in the 1 minute, what I suggest is make sure you say your name and what district and what you're running. Okay, so you go ahead. 1 minute.
My name's James Wendell Ray Stevens. Everybody knows me as Big Jim. I've lived in McCreary County my whole life. I got a wife. Her name's Rebecca Stevens. I got 2 daughters. I worked in youth care for 16 years. Worked with 4 and 5 level juvenile delinquents. And then I worked here in court security at the courthouse for 2 years. I just would like to get a chance to be a constable in District 4. Want to be there to serve the people, And I've not got no lies to tell. If I get elected, probably not going to go to a 20-week academy for $600 a month. I'd lose everything I got. But I will do everything I'm allowed to do by law.
We'll go. Let's keep going. Clockwise.
I'm Darlene. I'm the constable in District 1. I'm trying to get re-elected again. My qualifications is I've got a law enforcement degree. I've been to the Constable Academy. I taught firefighting for the state of Kentucky for 35 years, been in emergency service 57. And I've got a wife, Deborah, and I've got 2 kids, Shane and Tara, and a whole bunch of grandkids. And I've tried to do the best job I could and keep it ethical. And if there's anything you want to know about me, ask me. I don't care. Tell you.
My name's Thomas Porter. I'm running for Constable in District 3. And I'm married to my beautiful wife, Sandra Porter. Together we have 8 children. We have 15 grandchildren. And the reason why that I'm running for constable is I served my country for 4.5 years, and I fought in Desert Storm, and I believe those are my qualifications. I went through battle, so, you know, I do have an aspect for knowing situations and how to overcome. Right now, I've been working for a school system for 18 years. I'm a custodian there. I'm a hospice chaplain, have been for 4 years. I go in to families that are losing loved ones. I'm also chaplain for the VFW in the district, and I've served in that capacity since 2007. So I'm asking the voters out there on May 19th to consider me as constable. I'm like the brother said there a minute time.
I'm Thomas Trammell. I'm running for constable in District 3. I've got a wife of 21 years, 2 beautiful kids, and I've wanted to be constable my whole entire life. And that's all. Before I freak.
My name's Bill Hayes. I'm a Republican candidate for constable in District 1. Grew up in Whitley County. I married a girl from down in Sawyer. She moved me over here. In about 1999, we moved out on Bay Ridge Road. I lived there for about 5 years. I bought a house up here in Whitley, and now we're in Stronker Edge. Got like 5 years in law enforcement. I was constable for a couple of years whenever Dustin Ryder had transferred over to become a deputy, and he was constable. I volunteered for Randy Waters for like 3 years. I'm self-employed. I do blacktop sealing, striping. I'd love to be your constable again. Thanks a lot.
I'm Tommy O'Brien. Everybody knows me as Tom Bryant. I've logged, I've drove trucks all over the United States. I've done construction work. I would like to be the constable. I want to be there in District 4 to help anyone that needs help, do what I need to do, and I'm going to take the 20-week course because it needs to be for the constable job. You need to be able to go and do what you need to do. I've got 2 daughters, I'm divorced, I've got 4 grandkids. And if anybody has any questions, I'm putting out cards, it's got my number on it, just give me a call. Thank you.
All right, that was everybody. Okay, so you're going to be first this time. Okay, the next 2 questions are based on a case that I covered in my book, While No One's Watching, cheap plug. And if you had the good sense to read that, you'll know what this is. I'm going to talk about the Doug Harvest case in London, Kentucky. In London, Kentucky, if you've been following it, Doug Harvest was a 68-year-old man. London Police Department went out on a warrant or without a warrant. We don't know at this point, even if they had a warrant. Midnight before Christmas Eve, went to the wrong address over a weed eater. And as of today, the report came out. Basically was shot 10 times, busted skull, just bad all the way around. So that really I find disturbing, beyond recognition, disturbing. And body cameras were issued to these people. None of them had body cameras. So based on that, my question to you guys is, what will be your policies and procedures regarding body cameras? Let's do that one first, body cameras. Will you wear body cameras? What is your policy on body cameras? And we'll give a minute each for that.
I'm Darrell Hansford, running for constable.
Yeah, turn on.
I'm not turned on. Oh, okay. I'm Darrell Hansford. I'm running District 1 constable. I do believe in body cams. I've got 2 of them, and there's always one in my car. And if I get out to do something, I do have the body cam on. If you're going to serve a warrant or something like that, I always check and make sure that's the person who lives there. Most people in my district I know and know where they live. And if I have to go somewhere else, I'll check with the sheriff's department or something to make sure. And 911 gives me a lot of good directions on that.
If I was elected constable, as far as the body cams, if I was elected constable in District 3, as far as the body cams, I would be willing to use it. I know at the time, you don't make a great deal being constable. I know the sheriff's department can't help you with that. So it'd be something that would be a period of time that I'd like to invest in. And as far as serving warrants, I would always, until I got that body cam, I'd always call in, give them my badge number, give them the time I got there, and then the time that I left. I'd be respectful about that. I believe that would help in a case that you were talking about. This man sounds like he didn't give a time or a place. So on up till I got that, that's what my procedure would be.
Body cams are really important. I use one 5 days a week, and I also got one for my personal use. If I'm elected, I will use it. And they should have got more information before they actually went to the wrong address. That's my opinion.
Again, my name's Bill Hayes, I'm on the Constable District 1. I don't see no problem wearing a body cam. I used to keep the camera in my car just to help things out. But as right now, I think the law enforcement, I don't think the whole story's been put out there. So far, the law enforcement is innocent too, is looking before proven guilty. I think there was a judge that signed off on the warrant. I don't know where it was leading to or what, I don't know enough about it to judge it. But as far as, 10 times being shot is a lot of being wrong. I think they were put before the grand jury too and found innocent, right? My understanding is, I don't know. But I think federal, would have to put the federal government to look in on it. If I'm not mistaken on that too. But I appreciate you about it. Thank you.
Tom Bryant, Constable District 4 is what I'm running for. I think the body cams is a must, and any officer that gets out of the vehicle on any type call needs to have a body cam on. If they can have a dash cam for any pullovers or anything, they need to have that on. The warrant, I don't think it should have been served at 12 o'clock on a weed eater. That was a daytime thing where they could see everything going on, and there wouldn't be no surprises. That's my thoughts on that. Thank you.
James Stevens, candidate for Constable District 4. I agree 100% with the body cams. I think you should have them on when you're doing your job and what your job details are. But as far as the situation over there with that case, I agree with these guys. Why would you be going at midnight to serve one on a stolen weed eater? I just don't understand that. But yeah, if I'm elected constable, the body cam will be one.
Okay, everybody answer that?
I already did.
Okay, so he's first next.
Yeah.
Hey, Darlene, if you don't care, announce that this is the constable debate, because I made a mistake and I had the magistrate debate on my mind, and that's what I posted it as.
Okay, just real quick, just for the audience on television, on YouTube and everything, this is the constable debate. We had to reschedule a magistrate debate, and that kind of confused things, but tonight is the constable's debate, so, okay. All right, next question. Everybody answered that question, right? Okay. Evidence room. Again, in my book, one of the things that Church Politics we exposed that in Pulaski County, and it's not just, I know it sounds like I'm beating over Pulaski County and Somerset, but 2 evidence rooms, one in Pulaski County and one in the Sheriff's Department's evidence room and one in the Somerset PD evidence room. But there's also been 3 evidence rooms at KSP where cops are going in and stealing evidence. I'm talking drugs, pills, money. This Pulaski County evidence room, this went on for like 6 years, and till it got exposed. So evidence is quite important. So what are going to be your policies, your procedures? Please be specific. Let's give them 2 minutes on this one. Your policies and procedures about handling evidence when you come up to, a situation, evidence, evidence, handling evidence till it gets to that evidence room.
Well, on that, according to what I've been reading about the new laws of constables since 2023, they don't have arrest powers under the new law, the new constable doesn't. So as far as the evidence that you're talking about, my policy would be is I would call it in and allow a deputy or state police to come and examine it, because I wouldn't have the authority under this new Kentucky state statute to do anything or to store anything. So it would be under my honesty and the policy of Kentucky to call it in, and I would be there and stay, because like the man said earlier, you have to go to academy, and I don't have that. So that would be my policy. I would stay there with the situation or whatever it is on up until I was assisted by the deputies in McCreary or also by the state police. So that would be my policy that I would stand on.
As Mr. Porter was just saying, I would, where we haven't got like the arrest powers or nothing like that through the new law that they came out with, I would call like the sheriff department or KSP to come and turn the evidence over to them and let them look at it and everything. And I would just stay there and wait till they got there where I could turn it over to them where nothing would be said or done about it.
Bill Hayes. If the new law that they've got out now, I don't know how it's gonna work out. This will be the first election since it's been passed in 23. If it don't change, we probably have to worry about handling evidence, but if there's any kind of case that we would, just let a certified deputy be with you. You've got no business out there anyway without being able to arrest by yourself. But if you work good with your local sheriff's department, state police, they'll be right there anyway. Be more glad to help you. And he was talking about the weed eater, and didn't have no reason to be out on a warrant on a weed eater. My understanding is that the weed eater was supposed to have been sold for drugs or traded for drugs, so they were probably thinking that they were going into a drug house, and probably the later the better to get in a drug house. So, and that's just my opinion. It's just not worth nothing.
Tom Bryant, running for Constable, District 4. I think the evidence needs to be photoed, logged by 2 different people before it's put in storage lockers or anything else. Then that way there's not just one set of photos can get gone and stuff. I think it needs to be done by at least 2 officers. And I am planning on taking the 20-week course if I get elected for Constable in District 4, so I will be doing that. I appreciate every vote that I can get, and I want to look out for every person in District 4. Thank you.
James Stevens, running for Constable in District 4. As far as handling that situation with the evidence and the drugs and stuff, it's like Mr. Porter said, I would position myself there, call for the local law or state police to come and handle and put that, and log it down and put it wherever it needs to go. And probably keep a track myself, if I could, of it to make sure it's handled appropriately. And but like I said, I'm not going to do the 20-week course as of right now, because if I did, I couldn't pay my bills. So therefore, that's why I'm not going to do the 20-week course as of right now. But I think there's something in process maybe to eliminate that, hopefully. But yeah, just keep accurate record and check and tabs on the evidence and stuff to make sure it don't get contaminated or fooled with or whatever.
Darrell Hansford, Constable District 1. I have got arrest powers. I know most of them doesn't, but I will have. I was grandfathered in, and they are getting ready to change that to a 40-hour course. If it passes in the legislation, it's coming up. And if I have any evidence, I work good with the Sheriff's Department. They took some evidence. Until I can get it to the sheriff's office or something, I've got 3 safes and a locked office. So I can keep it in or I can keep it in the trunk of my car. But I know how to take care of the evidence, how to bag it and everything. And I've done all the necessary schooling and everything for that. I'm a member of the Constable Association, and they have some good training.
Okay, everybody's answered that one? He's first this time. Keep me straight, guys. Okay, let's do 1 minute on this one. What do you believe is the biggest law enforcement related problem in McCreary County, and what is your plan or policy to address this issue?
Thomas Trammell, 3rd District. I'm running for Constable in the 3rd District. I think the biggest problem in McCreary County is drugs. And if I'm elected, I will actively patrol my district and work alongside with the sheriff's office when they need my help. Thank you.
Bill Hayes, drugs is absolutely the worst thing in the county. I would help with the sheriff's department in any way I possibly could. As far as I've been with them before on search warrants. I've also been helping with surveillance. I'm sitting laying ditches to catch people, and I'll be right there beside them if that's what it takes. And we got a war against drugs. We got a president there now that's fighting them, and then we got too. So I'll do anything in my power as constable. It's kind of hard to answer these questions, not knowing what they're going to allow us to do. And I mean, sometimes if you've got to have the same training as a deputy, why not be a deputy? Because it pays a whole lot better. But I appreciate your vote, Bill Hayes. Thank you.
Tom Bright, running for Constable in District 4. Pretty much what everybody else is saying on this. It's the drug problem. It leads to the thieving problem. This all-nighters out here doing this needs to be patrolled. They're on the back roads as much as they are on the city streets in McCreary County. I live as far back as you can get, and they're on my road all hours of the night. And they just look for something to steal, they can go and straight for their fix. I think we need to work with the sheriff and state department and try to get this under control, as good as we can get it under control. And working with the sheriff and deputies, thank you.
James Stevens, Constable candidate for District 4. I'm in agreement with all the other candidates on the drug problem, probably being the number one thing that's bad in the county. I'll do my part, what I can do, patrol, work with the local law enforcement, and try to help get it under control the best we can. And there's another issue. I'm out a lot of the night because I come, but there's a lot of reckless driving, a lot of it, speeding, and mostly it's the younger generation. I was there at one time in my life too, but I think we need to kind of look out for that too, because I see it, I hear it a lot of the night, so, but the drug problem, yes, that's the main issue that we need to be focused on.
I'll agree with the rest of them, that drugs is number one, but domestic violence is always in there close. Since I've been constable in District 1, our calls have went way down, because they never know when I'm out. I may be out night, may be out day. I'll try to patrol as much as I can. And every time I go on call, I give the people a card with my number on it. And I get a lot of calls that does not go through 911. I'll call 911 and tell them where I'm going and what I'm doing. But it may not be on the radio until I do something. I found out I get better cooperation and everything with that. And I'm Darrell Hanson, Constable in District 1. And appreciate your vote. Yes, Bill.
Thomas Porter, running for Constable in District 3. Gentlemen, all of them around the table said it's drugs. That's the biggest thing. It's visited in my family and other families. I do believe that's the biggest thing the county, that our law should be focused on. If elected as constable, I would patrol. I work during the night, so the night works for me. That's when most are out and about. If I seen anything going on, I would call it in, because like I said, you don't have arrest hours, but I would call it in. What I would like to do if elected constable, I'd like, if the sheriff's department would allow me, I'd like to ride with the deputies during the night or during the day or the weekend and assist them. And that way, each time that I go into a situation, I'll know more about it, because different people have different situations. And like I said, it's visited in all their families, but that would be my policy. I would, during the night, mostly, I would love to be out and patrolling, but I'd also like to ride with the sheriff's department.
Okay, everybody answer that? Okay, so your first is Tom. Okay. By the way, I failed to mention, or I don't know if I mentioned or not, these are questions, almost all of these questions were emailed to me by the public. And several of these were a lot, like the drugs, and some of these questions, you're just gonna know that, that these were the public's questions. Actually, all of them. I put my little spin on some of them, but the public's questions. Okay, next question. Like most counties, we clearly have a domestic violence problem in our county. What is your plan, policy, and procedure as constables to address this issue, and please be specific?
Do a minute or two.
How about 2 minutes on domestic violence?
Whatever you think. My name's Bill Hayes. Domestic violence is always a bad thing. It's never good. And I don't know what kind of cards again that they want to give the constables. I've answered them. They're a dangerous call to answer. I mean, you can't. Sometimes you end up having to fight with both of them. But if there's any signs of domestic abuse, somebody's got to go to jail. If constables don't have the arrest power, that's not going to be a very good thing. But if any sign of abuse, somebody's got to go to jail. So that's the only thing you can do. Otherwise, is break them up or call. If there is no sign of it, you send them in different directions. Somebody's got to go somewhere for the night or so until you get back together. But if there's a sign of it, somebody has to go to jail. So you got to call you sheriff's department or state police or something like that. And again, my name's Bill Hayes, and I appreciate your vote for District 1 Constable.
Tom Bryant, running for Constable in District 4. Domestic violence has always been bad. The worst part of it is, if it's a family, the kids is always on the worst receiving end. Because they see mommy and daddy fighting and all this and that. The best thing to do is, whenever you get there, find out what's going on, keep them separated, have backup to show up, to help with the kids, both parents or whatever it may be. Anytime you have domestic, you need to have 2 to 3 officers to show up on it, because it's not a job for one person to keep them both separated and keep children calm. And I would fully support having any officers to call me at any night if I'm elected on a domestic or any other thing. They can call me anytime, day or night, and I'll get there to help them. Thank you.
James Stevens, Constable candidate, District 4. Domestic violence is a serious issue as well. See it a lot in court all the time. Main most important thing is answer your calls. And when you get there, handle them in a mature, respectful way. A lot of times, if you respect people, they're more prone to listen to you. So just handle it in a mature, respectful way. And if you need backup, if you need the law there to make an arrest or whatever, have them on their way there as you're going. But I think treating people with respect will get you further than anything. I'm James Stevens. I appreciate your vote.
I'm Darrell Hansford. I'm running for Constable District 1. I am the constable now. And domestic violence, as I said a while ago, is one of the many calls I get. And as James said, if you respect them, they will respect you. I have very little problem with them. I even got some that's got a pretty bad reputation, and if I go to get them, they'll get my car. They don't give me no fight, no nothing. But you gotta realize who the aggressor is. A lot of times a woman will says, he hit me, and she has no marks on him, and he's bleeding everywhere. So you know then that he's not the aggressor. And I have a lot of calls like that. And like I say, I give cards out with my telephone number on, and if they call me, I'll go. And you guys that's getting elected, if you got something like that, and you need somebody to be there to got rest powers, call me. Come help.
Thomas Gorder, candidate for Constable District 3. If I had a situation where they called me in for domestic violence, I would go in with respect, like the gentleman said there a minute ago. I'd go in and show them respect. I'd allow them to have their opportunity to speak. Like Mr. Transford said, sometimes one may say another. You got to be a judge of people. And I believe I'm a good judge of people to the most part. You know, that's what I do with hospice. I go in, I talk to families. I've been in situations where families are distraught, and I know during domestic violence that people are distraught. If it came down to arrest, I'd call, Mr. Chancellor said you could call him or call another deputy. That's what I do. I'd call them as soon as I got ready to leave to go answer the call, because I would want to make sure that whoever it may be doing this, that they be arrested, because I don't believe in domestic violence. I believe it shouldn't be, but sometimes it escalates that. But if I was elected, I would go in with respect, and I'd be honest with them, and I'd want them to be honest with me. So that would be my policy on it.
Thomas Trammell, District 3. Domestic violence, if I'm elected and I get the call to go to domestic, I would, first I would call like the Sheriff Department or Mr. Hansford there to go with me, because you don't need to go in a domestic just one guy or one officer. You need to have where when you get there you can separate them, get both sides of the both parties information, what's going on and everything like that there. And if, just like separate them, get their information, and, like see who the aggressor is, and if it's bad, like Mr. Hansford arrest him and, like give the lady a card or something other where she can call, like to ask him questions, and that's it, I think.
Everybody answer that one? Who was first?
That's my
He's first.
One more.
Oh, did you already answer that, domestic violence?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's answered domestic violence.
Bill started.
Okay, all right.
Keep it straight. All
That's a
right.
hard job. I can't say again.
There you go, okay. We clearly have a theft problem in our county. What is your plan as constable to address this issue? Since we kind of touched on it a little bit, we'll just do a minute on that one. Theft problem, constable.
Tom Bright, running for Constable in District 4. We clearly have a theft problem in all districts in the county. I plan on being out there watching, listening on every road in my district at every possible minute. Catch anybody doing anything wrong, they need to be corrected. Everybody don't need to go to jail over something others. A lot of people needs help. They need to be treated like somebody. They don't need to be pushed around. I guess second chances may help some of them. And we need to look out for each other and look out for our jobs.
James Stevens, Constable candidate, District 4. Yes, theft is a real issue in this county. Just being seen on a regular basis in your district-wide, it goes a long way. And answering your calls, that helps a lot, and investigating in those calls, and finding out what's going on, and catching the right people. I think that if you're out there, you're doing your job the best of your ability, being out there as much as possible, I believe that's going to help a lot in that situation. And like someone said earlier, drugs is a lot of the issue with the theft. People stealing to get their next fix. But yes, drugs or stealing, theft is a big issue in the county. And I think just doing your job, being out there, being seen, will correct a lot of that.
What I see is helped a whole lot is people got security cameras and we get pictures. And if we can identify that person, then we can catch them. These people drive around during the day and spot to steal at night for the next fix. I saw that drop off quite a bit in the north end, but we still have it. They had some batteries stole last Saturday night, and we have got a video now of the pickup, and we're working on it. We've seen it one time since then. A guy seen it and told me about it, but he never could get close enough to get the plates. And I try to get out and do as much as I can at night, and I do a lot during the day. And like I say, I think it's slowed down. I haven't checked the numbers on it, but I get a lot less calls. I'm Darrell Hansford, Constable District 1.
I'm a quarter candidate for Constable District 3. My policy, if elected, I would go in and I would investigate the situation wherever it be, home, business. I know over in Stearns, most of our businesses here in McCreary County is in Stearns. I know that theft is one of the big things, especially in our district a lot of times, because I hear about it myself. But I would go in and I would investigate it, and then once that I seen it, then I would also, a policy, mine would be to call in the sheriff or the department, or I call in Kentucky State Police if it needed more investigation, because I know I wouldn't have the training for that. I'd also be out patrolling. I'd be watching the factories over there in Stearns and the homes where I live. Just the other night, my son visited, and his vehicle was broken in on the road I live on. So I do know it's a very high thing, and it would be one of my priorities to patrol.
Thomas Hamilton, Constable for District 3. Theft, I would active patrol. I would patrol my district and go and investigate the case of theft, and if I needed to, I call the sheriff's department or the state police to have them to come in, where the constables now is not gonna have really no authority to process like scene and stuff like that. So the sheriff department or KSP would be great help for us. Thank you.
Bill Hayes, Constable, candidate for District 1. I did anything I could help, but the main thing is the drugs. The drugs is where the thieving comes in. You get rid of the drugs, you probably get rid of 99% of the problem there. Darrell said if we needed any help to call him, but unfortunately, if I get elected, they probably wouldn't need calling him. But maybe you go, with all that training, he might become my deputy afterwards. But I appreciate you also. Thank you.
Everybody's in for this? You guys are quick. Okay, here's one of my pet peeves. And this is one of the biggest questions from the citizens too. We clearly have a littering problem, especially along the roadways. What will be your policy as constable to address this problem?
James Stevens, Constable candidate, District 4. I've been told, and I've not checked this out, but citations need to be written when you catch people littering. I think that is the big helper right there. And patrolling your district, you'll catch people doing that. But I don't know if we're going to be allowed to write citations. I do not know. I got to get that clarified. I was told by a constable you could, but I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket until I find out for sure. But citations, I think, will be the number one thing to put a stop to. And then if people ain't got the money maybe to pay the fine, okay, clean up part of the road.
That is a big problem. I stop a lot of times if I see a garbage bag, and I'll look in and see if I can find the address in it. Most of the time, they don't have an address in there. They take them off and burn them or do something with them. But it's not that much to take garbage off and pay to get rid of it. And I think that they actually need somebody that does it. They did have, I don't know if they still have or not, if they still got somebody who patrols that or dumps and stuff. There's a big problem with it. You can clean the road up, and 3 days later, it's covered up again. And, it's like that. I'll try to keep working on that and see what I can find. If I can catch somebody, and you may be right, you just may not be able to write citations. I'm Constable in District 1 and appreciate your vote.
Thomas Quarter, candidate for Constable District 3. I do know what I've read from 2023, the new laws for the constable, you can write citations as well as deliver warrants and other papers. So if elected constable, and I caught this, because it's a pet peeve of mine too, because each year I get out with the April clean that falls, and you know, it happens on my road, so I don't appreciate it either. I think we should have a Beaufort County. So, I mean, this is my policy, and what I would do as constable, I do know I have the right to write a citation. So if I caught it, or I caught the people, I would inform them what they done, and I would write a citation.
Thomas Trammell, candidate, 3rd District Constable. I would get out, like, in the trash, and, I would look for, like, names and addresses, and if well, names and addresses, and then, I'd take them to the county attorney's office and give them to him, see what he wanted to do. And then if I caught somebody, throwing trash out the car or whatever, I pull them over, write them a citation, and I'll pay the fine for it.
It's a hard thing to catch, if somebody throwing a piece of garbage out the window, but if you catch them, you can write them up. I think Stephen McKinley, he's got, one of his job titles is trash, something other for dumps and stuff like that. It'd sure be a big help if they would reopen the dump station out here in Stearns. That would be the greatest thing ever. You could, once you get them in court, they can send them to picking up garbage and have to pay the fines off. But tell you what would be a big help if everybody removed their campaign signs once this is all over with. They stay out there for a long time. So, again, my name's Bill Hayes. Appreciate you voting. Thank you.
Tom Bryan, I'm running for Constable in District 4. Yes, the trash problem is a big headache to McCreary County because there's not a road that don't have it. The biggest part of it is from fast food places. They stop, get their eats, their drinks, they eat it on the way home, they roll the window down, there you go. So the best thing to do is kind of figure out how fast people eat, the roads are on, kind of be sitting there, catch them, give them a citation. Whenever they go to court on their citation, kind of go up there and see if you can get part of their fine took off by letting them clean that road going and coming and take the trash home and pay to have it be disposed of. That's my thoughts on that right there.
Everybody do the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's first next time? These are.
We need a chip.
So yeah, we should have passed a little hour on what we should have done. Okay, I'm too late. Okay, this is another question that was big with the public. The public is about over this. We also have an irresponsible pet owner loose dog problem in the county. What, if anything, would be your policy as constable to address this issue?
Darrell Hansford, Constable District 1. Well, it is a big problem. And a lot of times when I go to serve papers and stuff, it may not be the people's dog, it's somebody else's that tries to bite me. And we've got a dog warden. I know he's covered up, but you get in touch with him and he will try to come and get the dog. A lot of these dogs ain't licensed. A lot of them, the worst ones I've found is little chihuahuas. They'll bite you. I'd rather get out on a pit bull as a chihuahua. But there's dogs running up and down the road everywhere. And they dump a lot of them on roads that people call me about. And I'll get a hold of the dog warden and tell him they don't know how to get a hold of him. They need to publicize it a little better so they can get a hold of him. But as for doing something about it, if they call me, I'll try.
Thomas Corder, candidate for District 3 Constable. On that, if I went in and I got a call for that, I would go ahead and call the dog catcher, and I'd make sure that he got there to address it, especially if the person was very adamant about it. I know sometimes that they get calls. A few years back, I gave the constable, that's our constable now, a call, which he did respond, and he sent out a deputy because he was doing something else, and they did what they needed to do, is how I'll put it. But on that, I'd make sure that the people would get a respectful answer and a respectful way of doing it. And I would, as Mr. Hansford said, I'd call the dog catcher because, as for myself, I don't think none of us sitting here wants to deal with the dog. We don't want to be bit. But then, if we do something that's more drastic than what should be done, you're liable.
Thomas Trammell, District 3. I would go and assess the situation, see how the dog's acting, and then I would call the animal control officer here in the county and have him to come and where we could deal with the situation of the dog.
Our animal control officer is Smitty. He's done a great job, and my understanding is, and if he needs any help, just give me a call. I'd be more than glad to help him. Used to, they paid you 50, as a constable, they gave you 50 cents a dog to shoot a mad dog. That would probably help a whole lot.
It ain't gonna help none.
Ammo's a little higher too, ain't it? Ammo's a little higher too, right?
The bullet costs more than does, you get paid for killing
I don't know if you see that many mad dogs or not, but if you shoot it first in the leg, it gets pretty mad, so. But I'd be more glad to help Smitty out and hold the owners accountable would be the best thing in the world. And I appreciate you both. Again, my name's Bill Hayes. Thank you.
Tom Bryan, I'm running for Constable in District 4, and where I live at, there's one stretch of the road that it's probably 10 miles, there's no houses. Nearly all Forest Service land, nobody to watch it. There's always someone dropping dogs off, dropping cats off. It is a big problem because they go either direction, and people has livestock, people has homes, the dogs, the cats is a big problem. So I would help with the animal control. Where I live at, I get to use McCreary Animal Control and Whitley County Animal Control. So I can have a little more say-so on getting them caught up and took care of where I live at. Where most of District 4 is, it's still a problem, but we've got to do something to help it.
James Stevens, candidate for Constable in District 4. According to the job duties of Constable as of 2023, unless a dog is chasing or molesting wild elk or deer, or a mad dog, pretty much a constable's duty would be to get a hold of animal control, Mr. Smitty, and let him take care of the problem and assist him in any way you could. I think physical court is trying to work on something to help with the problem, but we really need a bigger facility for those animals. And until we get some grants or something that'll help build a facility, it's going to be an issue. I don't know. I really don't know what to do.
Everybody answered the dog question, right? Okay, we're running out of time. Let's do 2 minutes each of a closing argument, and just what you want to do is, sell yourself, so to speak. That doesn't sound right. You know what I mean. you know, your qualifications, why you're best and why you want this job. So you got 2 minutes each. Who's first this time? Thomas, okay.
Thomas Porter, candidate for Constable in District 3. The reason why I'd like to have the position of constable, and the reason why I'm running, because I served my country and I enjoyed it. I'd like to serve the people of District 3 as constable. I feel like it's kind of related to my military background. I'd like to be able to be a help to my community. You know, I've always enjoyed helping people through ministry and different things I've done in my life. So I feel that these qualifications, my military background, would help me to be a good constable. I would be respectful and honest to all the people of District 3 to do my best. If I couldn't do it, I would let them know. I believe in honesty, and I would be honest with them. So these are the qualifications, things that I would enjoy about being in the position of constable, being able to help people. That's my biggest goal, because I think through this, if you show respect and honesty to people, even though they may be doing things against the law, if you'll show them respect and honesty, you may change your life. And that's the main thing I want to do. I want to be a light and a leader in my community, and I feel as constable that I'd have that opportunity. Thank you, and I ask you for your vote on May 19th.
Thomas Sherman, District 3 Constable. I think I would make a good constable because I've been around law enforcement my whole life. My dad was a constable for 12 years. My cousin, he's chief of police in Tennessee. And I've been at the Wayne County Jail for 6 years now, where I've learned how to treat people with respect and dignity and kindness. I appreciate your vote, May 19th.
Bill Hayes, Republican candidate for Constable District 1. When I first got into this, it really scared me. You'd be surprised what's out there, and it takes a whole lot to be a constable, and you need somebody that can do the job and do it right. And common sense goes a long way, and I greatly appreciate your vote. I don't know what the law changes to, but I'll do the best I ever can for everyone that is. And I'll be up. The guy asked me about patrolling, and I'm going to be patrolling churches and cemeteries. They had some trouble down on the north end about a lot of things getting broke into around the churches and people driving through the cemeteries and doing drugs around the cemeteries, and hopefully it'll all tie into getting rid of drugs, because that's what it's going to take to straighten anything up. And I appreciate y'all's vote. Thanks a lot.
Tom Wright, running for Constable in District 4. I honestly think being polite, kind, respectful, taking everybody's feelings into consideration whenever you're out talking to them. We need to build a bond back between law enforcement and the people in the communities. A lot of people in the communities are 100% against any law enforcement. They're scared to death of them. They need to get that respect built back. We need a bond between the people in the country and law enforcement. And you can watch this on TV all you want to. It's all over the United States. We need that back, and it takes all of us working together to get that back. Both sides, law enforcement and citizens. We can do a lot for each other. We can look out for each other, and kind of like make a family of each other to protect and serve. Be there for any reason that anyone in District 4 needs me. I want you to give me a call. I will be there. I will be seen on all roads in District 4. Different days, different nights, mostly the weekends, and I couldn't hunt myself. I horse ride. So I may be on your road riding a horse, just watching and see what's going on. I appreciate you, and I thank everyone for your vote. May 19th. Tom Brown.
James Stevens, Constable candidate for District 4. Just like I said earlier, you know, I was raised in this county. I love this county. I just want the people of District 4 to be able to trust me and respect me, and honesty goes a long way. And getting out, being seen, patrolling each and every road in the district, watching the cemeteries, a lot of issues with cemeteries, people stealing stuff off graves and doing drugs in those. Yes, I think that's a big, important part of a constable's job is patrolling those areas and trying to cut down on all that stuff. If you let me as your constable, anytime you need me, all you got to do is call. I'll be there. And I thank you, and I appreciate your vote May 19th. Again, number 1 on the ballot, James Stevens, Constable, District 4.
I am your constable in District 1, and I'm asking to be reelected. My qualifications is I have got a law enforcement degree. I have been to the Constable Academy that they had 7 years ago. I've been the constable here for 7 years. I've been the deputy chief of North Quarry Fire Department for 40 years. I worked for the state as an instructor for firefighting, and at the time I was working with Homeland Security. We worked with Homeland Security then. And I think I've done a good job, or I feel like I have. People tell me that. And I appreciate everybody to vote for me, and I'll try to do the best job I can.
Is that everybody? Okay, folks, how about a big round of applause for these candidates? I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is not easy to come up here. No, it's not. And believe me, it's not easy for somebody to stick a microphone in your face and a camera in your face and say, start answering these questions. So this is not an easy thing to do. So they deserve a lot of credit for getting up here and answering we the people's questions. So how about another round of applause? Also, we want to thank our live studio audience tonight. How about a big round of applause for them? And we want to thank our timekeeper, Attorney Brandon Bear. And of course, Michael Mann, everything technical behind the scenes. And we want to thank MBR TV and Steve Hall and all the listeners on Facebook and TV Land. And we will see you next. And what's our next debate? I forget what it is. I'm sorry. I think magistrates are next, but I think next Monday we're going to have
3 and 4.
Yeah, we're going to have Cumberland Clear on. We're going to have a regular show with Cumberland Clear here, a kind of a debate with Knox Warner. That's on this landfill stuff that we're fighting. So you definitely want to tune into that. We want an audience showing up for that too. We'll give you more on that. I'll promote it next week. And then the following 2 weeks, I think, is, I think we got jailers coming up next, don't we? I think it's jail. Anyway, I've got it posted, and then I'll keep reposting it. Just watch it on Facebook, and we'll make sure everybody knows about it. And we'll see you next time on Truth or Politics. Thanks.